live stream. Going to be making a EDM song today. I had some people ask me in the past couple of weeks how I make songs, how people use songs. So I thought I would do a stream of me just going into a blank project with no real plan, except I know it's going to be EDM, and just making a tune, see what happens. I promise I've absolutely no plan on going into this. It's probably going to be dreadful. Okay, who knows? But hopefully, one of us can learn. If you've got any questions along the way that you want to ask me, then go ahead, feel free. And also, if you've got advice for me, if I'm doing things inefficiently, if you know a better way of doing something, or maybe if you've even got suggestions to contribute to the track, then that's absolutely fine. Feel free to contribute whenever you want to. Let's go ahead and start. Alright, so blank project. Let's have a look. So the first thing I usually do is remove all of this stuff. This was useful once upon a time, but these days it kind of just gets in my way more than anything else. I have used a couple of I have in a couple of songs used that default kick because it's actually quite good. It's quite well rounded. It seems to punch through most things quite well, but generally I'm not interested. I also remove this, but also then replace it perhaps with the same thing again, but just sealing it, putting a ceiling on there of -1 dB. -1 dB. If you were going to ask me exactly why it's -1 dB, I'm just going to type in that value. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe it's something to do with when you render it out down to like a WAV file for publishing, you know, being on a CD player or something like that. It just stops it from digitally clipping. I think it's an industry standard as well. Right, okay. Well, first thing we're going to do is just going to pop in a VST. I'm going to keep it fairly simple. I'll start with a citrus because I'm fairly sure most of you will have that. I'm going to try not to use VSTs that, you know, are hard to get hold of or that you might not have. I'll try and use, where possible, the stock Fruity Loop stuff or FL Studio stuff. Okay. I'm getting no sound. Speakers. I must have messed up my settings on the limiter. Let's go for, put that back to its default. I'm looking at that number in the top left, mind you. You can't see it because I think the webcam's over it. But there we go. All right. Default citrus stuff. Let's just go through some presets. I'm going to start off with a bass. So right-clicking presets, by the way, up there, that will bring over the presets for it in the browser on the left-hand side. Let's have a look for the bass. And if you've got a roller wheel on your mouse, what you can do is actually just click that wheel in, and it will pop it in to the VST. Makes life a little bit easier. I spent so long going presets and looking at all of that, trying to locate something. This is such an easier way. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. Well, I quite like that as a chord sequence straight away. What we've got for speed. Type in the values, go for 110. sold on the sound yet, but I like the chord sequence. So let's put that into piano roll. That sub bass could come in useful, I think. It's not enough on its own, but I like it. Sub bass 2, mental note. Even sub bass 1's alright. I think sub bass 2's just the same but detuned slightly with layers. Yeah. No. Okay, well there's one or two up here that were okay. Was it? No, was it pert? Click. That's okay. Right. I'm going to link that to this channel. So you can do that by right-clicking it. I'll go back a bit. So I've currently got this Digi selected in my channel rack. There's many ways I can link it to the mixer, but the one that I've got ingrained in my brain, and I know it's not the most efficient way of doing it, but I go to the mixer, right-click it, channel routing, route selected channels to this track. Alternatively, what I can do is go just click insert 1 and control and L, or even faster than that. I don't have to open the mixer at all. I can just link it to channel 1 on that. In case you couldn't see that, link it to channel 1 here. But now when I play, you see it coming out of there. Now the reason I'm doing that at the moment is because I don't like some of those higher frequencies in that bass, so I'm going to just see what I can do about getting rid of them. So Fruity Parametric EQ2 is fantastic. I absolutely love it. The presets on it are great, but mostly I just love this visual representation. Quite often I can hear like a frequency that I don't like and I need to pull it out, but I can't quite find it. This will usually have a big bright line where that frequency is. Okay, so if I go through the presets, 2 to the right is one which is just basically it's a shelf EQ. It means that you can take off all of the frequencies above or below a particular range. For instance, you can see here there's loads of bass here. I can just take that out. So you're just left with that mid and high. I'm going to go and get rid of there. To my ears, that's much smoother. I might even compress it a bit as well. We can do that with Fruity Limiter. It is called a limiter first, but there is a compressor in there. Now, the ins and outs of compression, that's for another day. That's there's a lot to know about it, but basically, in my simplest terms, it will make the loud parts of a signal or a sound. It'll make them quieter. And at the same time make all the quiet bits a little bit louder so that everything becomes the same level. Radio stations compress their music a lot because a lot of songs are dynamic, meaning they've got really loud bits and really quiet bits, and they want the listeners to be able to hear it all, so they'll often compress it to bring up the quiet just to put it all in line with the loud. I'm going to compress this. I'm going to basically, I'm not doing it because I think it needs to be done. I'm doing it because maybe it'll work, but maybe it won't, but we'll see. So I'm going to remove the threshold to where these peaks are and increase my ratio and see how we're doing. Lost some volume there, so just a bit of makeup gain. Now I don't like how drawn out this is, so I'm going to go over to the pattern again. I'm going to start mucking around with it. Maybe not. I prefer that. That was an F, I think. Okay, that's good. There's quite a lot of stereo going on, which I don't like in a bass. I'll often make it mono, so I'm just going to leave a bit of the stereo in, but not much. Alright, okay. Let's move on. Okay, so over here, left hand side, packs is where you want to have a look for your samples, and you can stick your own samples in there. If you buy a sample pack from a website somewhere, you can you can stick all of the folders in the same folder structure that these are in. If you don't know where to find them, by the way, you can always right click the packs thing and go for Windows shell menu, and then you can just click open and that'll bring you to the folder where all this stuff is kept. You can just drag and drop it all in here. It will appear on the left hand side. As you can see there, I've got Vengeance Club Sounds 3. I've had that for a long time, but I don't really feel like most of the time I need much else. But you know, they say the best one is the one that you know how to use, so that's what I'll do. For this example, though, I won't use that. I'll try where possible to use the same stuff that you might have. So let's have a look in the kicks. And just clicking it will let me preview it. I'm just going to use my arrow keys up and down till I find one that I like. Turn it up on my speakers. FPC. Not much I liked there. Let's have a look in the other one. Kicks. I like that, but is it too intense? Oops. Well, let's use it for now. We can always change it later. So I'm just going to right click that one, open a new channel. There it is. I'm already using pattern 1. That's occupied by this bass line that I did. So what I like to do, the fastest way for me to make a new pattern for my kick to go in is just hit F4, and then it forces you to name it as well. I'm going to give it a colour, probably a custom colour, because I'll be honest, I don't really like the standard FL Studio sort of pastel-y colours. I find them a little bit boring. Let's give you a yellow. Doesn't look like I can put a picture on it from here, but whatever. So we have got our kick pattern, and I'm just going to go right click, fill each 4 steps. That's all I really want. Okay. Well, I know I'll need that, but I'm not going to use it yet because I've just had another idea pop in my head. I think I want a loop at the start. So let's get that bass in. I'm going to switch to the playlist now, and I'm going to pop in my bass line. So still something quite upsetting about that, but I'll deal with that later. Okay, 4 of those. Let's have a look for loops. Are there any loops here? Drums, hi-hats, loop. Here we go. These are some old ones, these. Why are they so slow? These are like half speed. That one, I can use that one. Right. Let's try that. Right, I don't know the second half of that. Okay, it looks like we're back on. Sorry about that. Yeah, reconnection really successful. I'm not really sure what's going on, but it just seems to drop in and out. Hopefully it's not like that on the replay. But we can only do what we can do. Okay. Start the next phase. I'm going to try a harmor. Now, depending on the version of FL Studio you've got, you may or may not have this. Apologies if you haven't, but it's really good. What have we got? Let's give it a citrus synthesizer. No. Ooh. Oh, I like that. Right. I think I'm going to make an arpeggio out of that. What are we in F minor?